Good morning all, hope you're doing well. You had a nice weekend. So what we've done in the QDB system, we've got this technical risk calculation, and what it does, it summarizes all of these risk components. So it'll check the Dow Jones and S&P, VIX, the yields, individual companies, and the dollar. So what it just summarizes us in a very easy way. So what we've done, we've incorporated this in the QDB scores, this technical risk calc. So if you're using the QDB scores, which is something I would recommend, then the technical risk calc is just here. So you might need to go to 75%, and you can capture the whole thing on your screen. So basically what I'm doing, I'm looking at that and then basing my thesis, my direction, my assumption about risk on or risk off based on that. So, for example, Aussie USD should be falling because of the poor risk calculation. The technicals are low, so we know a risk off. The Aussie USD shouldn't really be doing too well. Likewise, a GU. It's quite a risky instrument, and so that's just a quick summary there. So I'm just basically keeping an eye on that, and I'm basing my trades based on that. So for example, we're risk off, so perhaps the yen would strengthen, against its risky counterpart, the Aussie. So that would be slightly naughty, potentially. We have to tell you, though, a bit frustratingly, the yen is over here. So they're long yen, and they added long. They're short dollar, and they're short on Aussie. So there's a little bit of discrepancy here. So Aussie yen is okay on the sentiment on the bubbles, but it doesn't really agree with the fundamentals, the risk off nature that we're seeing right now. So AJ is up. Where are we? Yeah. So therefore, 0.32, and that's based on the bubbles. So this has been a little bit out of bonk because technically we're a little bit risk off, but AJ's pumping a bit. Based on the bubbles. So this is a case, just be careful. Try and get things to align. For me, I'm not going to be trading yen at all. I've been looking for dollars. And so that's what I'll be doing. Let's have a look at your indices and gold. And gold, they're going long. So we can map a box. And hopefully I can draw a box without any performance issues, because it was lagging like crazy last week. I think Windows had some updates. Yeah, it's this one or that one. We'll just draw this one. And so this is a thin resistance because I've gone long. And you can see, 1939 is resistance there. So if they carry on buying, we should fall. So I think maybe it might be the case of yen weakening because of the bubble, which would be quite frustrating. And now we can see we're quite risk off. So how valid an AJ long would be, we'd have to query that. It might mean that they get paid a little bit heard on their AJ. Let's have a look. That's fine. This is okay. Well, it's not okay because they sold it, so we should be coming up. So obviously there are things it take into account. The fact that there are fundamentals in play. And all the stuff going on that's pushing price fundamentally, it's overlooking the retail sentiment. This is a really, really powerful aspect to trading, but there are greater forces. So even though they've sold it and we should be coming up, it might just fall due to fundamental factors. Okay, so be careful. Sentimentally, it's a buy, and so you're looking for longs above that, but technically, it's a bit risky, isn't it? Maybe fundamentally risky as well. So that's been a bit naughty. US 30. And they sold it so we can map a box. Just horrible price action. It's telling me to definitely avoid trading indices today. Yes, there's a little bit of a discrepancy of risk in that yen bubble because the yen should be strengthening. So we'll have to wait and see. It might be, like I say, they get paid in their yen bets. They're short in it, so we should be above there. But whether or not you actually want to be buying it is very risky. How much it's dropped. It looks like like a whipsaw, doesn't it? Stops, 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 and now they're selling it. So I would avoid that personally. And then DAX lastly. And it's also worth noting the US Treasury yields fell from Friday as well. And that would mean that we'd have a softer USD. But I see a stronger USD based on the risk. You know, the fact that we're puking on risk. They went long, so this is a resistance. So what I'm going to do is just use your QDB scores. I'm looking for reversals today. And it might mean that we're slightly out of bonk with fundamentals and risk on, risk off. So just going to play it quite safely. So it's starting to get slow again. Rubbish, isn't it? Can't even draw a box. It's like, how much computer resources must that take to draw a box? Won't allow me to do it. Let's try that one more time. It's like, no, yeah, God, 3 times it took to do that. So my VPS is just too slow. But they've gone long, so you know we should be below that support, 15,845. And so we might be a bit funky today, in so much as that we should be seeing a stronger USD, we should be seeing a stronger yen. However, the bubbles are indicating a softer yen, and the US Treasury yields declined, so that can indicate a softer USD. So there's a very much a sentiment is against working against fundamentals today. So I'm just going to be really careful and just going to do maybe a couple of trades today, see how they pan out, and we'll just see how we go. So you know, looking for buys up here. So anything red up here would be a buy. Anything down here that's green would be a sell. So CJ probably, but then again, the yen bubble is indicating that to go up. So I'm just being really careful today. It might even just monitor because we've seen a bit of discrepancy between sentiment and the fundamentals, and might have a clearer picture by New York. So trade safely, and I'll be back later tomorrow.